Okay, so just going to do the part of question 4, which is the password manager. This seemed to panic some people when you guys saw it at Easter school, and to an extent the point was to be a bit confusing, right? It's an unusual combination of the question. It's just extending some things that you already know about and putting them together in a way that hopefully you haven't seen before, because the whole point was to give you some problem solving. Really what's happening here is the question is testing your logic. It's not testing your programming syntax. You can see there it says a design technique. So I've already written a solution in pseudocode. I'm not expecting you to write absolutely word for word perfect syntax here for how you use some of the functions, but you need to be able to think about how you could break this down into steps. So we've got a simple password manager that generates a random 12 character password. So that's relevant because we're going to loop 12 times, because we're going to loop for each character. Selecting a random lowercase letter. So we're not having to worry about the fact that uppercase and lowercase are treated as different things in ASCII and Unicode. So we're only working with one range, and that's 97 to 122. You're never going to be expected to know the ASCII values here, so you're given them. Right? You're told that it starts at 97, and you can kind of work out for yourself that if A is 97 and B is 98, C is 99, and so on, you could actually work out the whole alphabet if you needed it. So using a recognised design technique, design a solution that can generate 12 random lowercase letters, which is using the ASCII number 97 to 122, and add each one to a password string. So what we're doing is, first of all, you're setting up an empty string. Effectively in Python you would be saying something like password, right? Just so that you can add something to it at the end. And if you didn't have this, actually the way that I set out the marks and the marking scheme for it, it wasn't a big deal, because really the important bit was what was coming next, steps 2, 3 and 4. So we're going to loop 12 times, or because it's a design technique you could say loop for each letter. That would be fine as well. We're setting a random number. Now whatever you decide to call it, right? I might have it as R, I might call it random, I might call it random number, letter number, whatever my variable name is, doesn't matter, but I'm generating a random number between 97 and 122. That's the equivalent, if I'd done that in Python, of saying randint 97 and 122. And what I'm doing here, though it's a design technique, is I'm showing that I still understand that this is a function. So when I've said to a random number 97 and 122, I know what the parameters are. Then add CHR. I've used a bit of a Python function here, but it's obvious what I mean. CHR with that random number. So if I just switch to my highlighter for a second, so that's random and that's random. So the idea is whatever number this is generated, so say it's picked 99, I'm looking up character 99, or if it's picked 110, I'm looking up character 110, and then I'm adding that to the password. Now you could have done that in a couple of different steps. You could have had it as, you could have had it something like set letter to CHR the random number, and then an extra line that says add letter to end of password, and that'd be alright as well. The point is that I'm putting these steps in order. See, I've written a little bit of explanation there. Like I said, I'm going to give you this PDF, and I'm not looking for exact syntax, things like the randint or CHR, but you do need to kind of show that you know that this is a function and how you would implement it. You can't just kind of rewrite the description. It's got to be something that could be turned into code, that's written in the same kind of layout as a program would be.